Hey guys, Jessica Siobhan here, and it's Monday night, 8 o'clock, and welcome. We're going to get started painting this chicken, Cher. So Cher is one of my girls. This is part 2, so as you can see so far, I have got just the background done. Last session I worked a lot on these wattles here, so grab a drink and toast every time I say wattles. JK, or maybe, I don't know, however you want to spend your Monday night. I'm just glad you're here with me, and it's good for me too. I make a little time to make sure I do my art, so everybody wins. I am just listening to Artlist radio. I have, wow, look at this array of brushes. What am I going to start first? So here is my little reference photo. So last week, like I said, I spent forever on those wattles, so I'm going to try to concentrate on something else. So let's get started. I'm making sure all of my water cups are away from my paint water, because that gets dangerous. I also broke out some of this stuff that I use to clean my brushes, the Masters brush cleaner. You can see this is really old. I've had it for years and I still have quite a bit, so and it really makes my brushes nice, so love that stuff. You just kind of use it like a soap bar on your brushes, rinse them, and it works for oils, acrylics, as far as I know. It says use for oils, acrylics, and watercolors, so yeah. It's like the Windex of brush cleaner. Just cleans everything. Okay, so where are we starting tonight, Cher? Where are we starting? I think I want to kind of put some of the textures of those feathers in. Start doing some highlights. I got this groovy playlist going. I'm feeling this vibe. Alright, so I'm going to start with this just a little brush. I like little brushes. I don't know why. I just do. So this past weekend was so fun. There was the Mighty Minis art show put on by the Garage in Virginia Beach, and all of my chicken paintings sold. So I had 3 mini chicken paintings, and they all are going to great homes, and that's really cool to think about. My work being in, like, someone liking it to begin with, and then enough to buy it and put it in their home, because I know when I buy art, I'm very particular, so I'm going to pretend that the people that, or not pretend, just go on that vibe that they were so stoked on these chickens and were excited to have them. Good vibes. I put down kind of a blue color. With acrylics, it's really good to just layer. I like to just layer. Even if it doesn't look like anything in particular, just getting some color down is nice. Even just some texture. I'm learning more to put texture in my art. It's so funny, this conversation about AI and art. I've been watching a lot on AI because I feel like if I don't keep up with AI, especially at my age, I will be totally lost. So I'm trying to keep up with all the technology right now. And it's so interesting to see what AI does for the arts. I am going to think positive thoughts and just think it's going to be a great tool for artists. I know I like to use it. Sometimes I'll reference it just like if I can't really see in my mind what it is that I'm looking for, like a heart floating in space. I mean, I can imagine that, but I kind of need a reference, and I can just ask ChatGPT, like, hey, can you show me an image of this? And then it'll give me something, and I don't copy it, but I kind of look at it and reference it. It's just I feel like it's an easier filter of Google or something as far as references go. And, of course, a lot of my ideas are in my mind. I just like having a reference. And I think a lot of artists work that way. I think a lot of people who paint think that people are just painting out of their minds. Like, these amazing artists are just thinking of these things in their heads and painting them. And I mean, kudos to those that do, but most artists I know, even the most famous realist painters and even abstract painters, kind of learn realism. And I tell my students, like, a lot of them love to draw anime, and anime is it is a little hyper realistic. It's like a marriage of hyper realism and cartoon. That's what sets it apart, is their features, besides their eyes and faces, are so human-like. So it's good to learn realism, me personally, as an educator, as an art educator, I like to teach my students realism, whether they like to do it or not, just so they have an idea of how form and color and light hits things. Like, if you know the anatomy of a figure, or if you just practice painting still lifes and inanimate objects, you kind of learn where those highlights and tones come in. And then you can add your own twist to it. But I do feel like learning realism is not only really fun, because it's fun to know how to look and draw what you see, but it's also very beneficial to your growth as an artist. It's like learning a language, right? Like, you can learn the proper way, like to speak Spanish. And to me, that's like what realism is. It's like the proper way. And then you can add your own kind of accent to it or twang to it, and it still sounds amazing. Like, maybe you have this like reggaeton kind of sound. I don't know. Like, it's like language and music art. Like, classical is realism to art, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm more of a classical painter, but I think it's like even a lot of our hip hop, like our really amazing talents that I see, are really good at just playing the instrument. Some of my favorite musicians that you'd be surprised, like, let's do a comparison. I think of, as an artist, like a fine artist, Picasso. And Picasso did a lot of really abstract, different things. You know, you think of him as like triangular shapes and kind of bold, muted, well, I guess it doesn't make sense, but, you know, not blended colors, very brushstroke, painterly qualities. But he did a lot of realistic stuff. Like, if you just Google Picasso realism, you'll see he did a lot of traditional work, and that's what helped him get to that point. So if I were going to compare that to an artist, okay, so Post Malone comes to mind. When I first heard him, I thought he was amazing. And this was way back when he was like on not Spotify. I can't remember the platform, but it was like not a whole lot of people, like my students, I teach high school, and they were telling me about him, and this was years ago, like 2015, 2016, I don't know. But with his sound, I just knew he sounded amazing, and he sounded like he knew what he was doing, and he was like classically trained. And it wasn't until years later that he did a benefit concert for the storms in Texas, which is where I'm from. And he played country music and was on the guitar, and I am a big fan of like old country. I'm like I said, everything about me is, classical, realistic art, and I like real country, and that's just how I am. And he was playing some old tunes, and I was like, this kid's got it. He's got it. And so that's how I feel about art. Like, learn the realism, learn the roots, and then make it yours. So I am not even paying a lot of attention to the detail in these feathers, because I don't want to lose my mind, and I don't want to work on this forever. Like, I guess I kind of paint what's satisfying to me. So faces, for instance, are really satisfying. So I will paint the face and spend a lot of time on it. And then I just kind of get bored. And when it gets to like feathers or details, I start doing kind of more impressionist-y things. So you'll see my brush kind of moving a little faster than when I'm working in the face. And that's just the way I am. And I'm, so far that's my style after 20, 30 years of painting. So, and that's what it is. I like realistic faces and impressionist-y bodies, and I love nature. And I think a lot of us novice artists, some of us just want to learn how to draw, and that's amazing too. But some of us who are just really into art and drawing, we're just so hard on ourselves about like what's our style. It's like, don't worry about it, just get to work, and you'll find that thing that you just really enjoy doing. And another pro tip as an educator is, don't just stick with one thing. Like, don't find like, oh, I just love pencil, I'm really good at pencil, so I'm just going to stick with pencil because that's what I'm good at. Really get in there and try different things. I have so many students who will say they're great they're great at drawing, and they will just always want to do things in pencil. And then I'll introduce them to paint. They're like, I hate paint. And then I'll show them different paints, like acrylic paints, oil paints, watercolors. And I've had so many students just suddenly love a certain medium. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing about teaching. So I'm kind of going in these feather-like strokes. So I'm just kind of following the contour of nature. Like, I'm looking at the feathers, and it's gonna sound crazy, but I kind of think like, if I were a feather, how would I be falling? And I'd be going shoop, 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 shoop. Helps if you make sound effects. And I'm just layering. I'm just having a good time. Oop. I thought that was light and it's dark, so I'm just gonna go with it, because we do need some darker tones. And I think I mentioned on another video, I had a student named Fabiana, and I learned a lot from her too. Amazing painter, and she would just kind of squint, like stand back and squint at her work. And I find myself doing that, and I remember her doing that, so I was like, I'm gonna start doing that, and it really is helpful. So So the great thing about teaching is also that you learn from your students all the time. Yeah, it's like you're the book and they're the little footnotes that if you read them, you'll find some really interesting information. So yeah, I participated in the Mighty Minis, which is a group. It's the Mighty Minis. That's the name of the show, but it's put on by a place called The Garage. And The Garage is owned by a lady named Tessa. And she has really helped make a very thriving art community, along with many others that I've worked with in my career over the years. But she's kind of a new name to me, and I'm really amazed at all the work she's done in the short amount of time that she's been in Virginia Beach. So I got to work with her this weekend. She put on a show called The Mighty Minis, and I had 3 paintings of my chickens in the Mighty Minis, but beyond that, it was so cool to see how much talent is in our community. I mean, I've been kind of in my classroom and I've been active in the community, but I feel like I've just been seeking out opportunities for my students, and maybe I wasn't keeping up with just I don't know. Or maybe I didn't have time. I don't know, but now that I'm kind of advocating for myself in my free time, I'm able to make time for more community events. And yeah, there's a lot of really great things happening in Virginia Beach. And it's really cool to see it grow, especially back to AI, like in this time of AI. It's really cool to see how technology it's so foreign to a lot of us. We remember what it's like to not have a cell phone, our generation, 40 up, whatever. And yeah, we're like the last generation to know what that's like, to not have a phone. And it's very interesting to teach high school and see how kids, like I have a lot of kids that are better at being off their phones than I am. Like they don't, they want flip phones and they're listening to vinyl, and I think it's a great time for artists. I think people are going to want more handmade, handcrafted things, because no matter how much advanced AI gets, it'll never compare. It'll never compare to knowing that a human that felt and hurt and ached and loved and laughed, like their work that came from their hands. It's different. Like if you can't feel feelings, and that's the major part of humanity, then I don't know, I don't think you can really make art. And I have no rhyme or reason happening here. I'll call it my Fabiana. I'm just squinting and looking at colors and popping in what I see. Maybe that can be a thing where I'll name new tricks after students of mine. Things I learned from them. So, squinting and kind of just plopping color where I see highlight and blues and whatever, shadows. This is my Fabiana technique. And I'm guessing the light source is coming from, I think it was like in front. So she's got highlights here. So I'm thinking, you know, even if I didn't have a reference, I could at least kind of free draw and at least make this still look somewhat realistic, and then I know where like things are gonna fall. I always look at my reference, but if I know the kind of, not even the anatomy, I don't need to know the anatomy of a chicken, but just at least where its neck protrudes and, you know, the feathers are on top, those are going to be brighter as the light hits it. So the 3 chickens I painted for the Mighty Minis art show was Dolly. And she's one of my white, I think she's called a Vermont chicken. And Rod Stewart, who is a Polish chicken. And if you have not seen a Polish chicken, you need to look one up immediately. They're my favorite looking. Like, they're not my favorite as far as attitude, because they are like very, I mean, they look the way they act. They just seem really stuck on themselves, and they have every right to be because they're beautiful. But yeah, that's Rod Stewart. And then I have the one that sold, Brittany, and she's called an Easter egger. And that's because they lay pretty blue eggs. Green, some of them are green, but what's really cool is Easter egger chickens, it's always a different color of blue. It's never the same. It's like a fingerprint. Gosh, there I go, getting ideas. I could do a collection of eggs that Easter eggers lay and see the different colors. It's kind of like a snowflake. Like, it's the same shape, it's the same color, but they're not all the same. But Brittany's eggs are like a bright, just happy blue. Like, if you think of a happy daisy and imagine it blue, that's the color of her eggs. They're so pretty. And then this is Cher. And I don't know what color eggs she lays. I'm not even sure what kind of chicken she is. I feel so bad. But she's beautiful. Okay, so her feathers are a little lighter down here, so you can see how I'm kind of getting that. And I'm just kind of playing. I know you guys pick up your drinks because I'm about to say waddle. I might get on those waddles soon. Can't help myself. And I might change this. I always tell my students to have a plan, like plan your background. I'm like, plan your background so you know what you're doing in the background. Ugh. I did not plan my background. I know, I did not plan my background. And now that I'm painting her, I don't know, I feel like Cher is a very nighttime, and I have this daytime theme. So I feel like that's going to change. So what I'm saying is, it is good to have a plan, but if the plan changes, that's cool too. But just having a plan, okay, this is why it's good to have a plan, because then you'll get started, right? If you have somewhat of an idea, you'll just get started and you'll just go, and then you can change it as you go. It's kind of like putting on your workout clothes. Like, just put on your workout clothes and that will help you get pumped, right? So that's what it is. Having a plan just is a good idea, just to get you motivated. And this is tricky because I have these highlights and I want them to be a golden color, but if I mix my yellow with my blue, it's going to turn green. And I'm not getting green vibes. I'm getting blue. Yeah. I just feel like this needs to, the background is not, I'm going to change that. We'll think about that later though. I'm going to start getting detailed, so I might not be talking so much. You might be like, thank God. Or you might be like, dang. I'm just gonna go with the flow, with the vibe. Ooh, that was way lighter than I thought, but it's okay. It's paint. And acrylics, so this is dried. So one thing about acrylics is they are hard to blend, especially once they've dried. Sorry. They're hard to blend once they've dried. So there's like a trick to making sure it's blended, like, versus just layers and blobs of color, which those look really good too. If I were smart, I'd use oils because they blend much better than acrylics. But I like a challenge, and I like acrylics. I don't know why. I mean, there's a little ADD part of me too that just gets frustrated with how slow oils take to dry and work with. So I teeter on that, and I feel like acrylic, I can still get the effects I want of an oil. In my anxious haste. And I saw an exhibit at the MoCA in Virginia Beach, which is an acronym for the Museum of Contemporary Art. And there was an exhibit of Todd Shore. And if you haven't looked up Todd Shore, oh shoot, it's okay, it's paint. Paint over that. But Todd Shore is an amazing, kind of realistic, cartoony artist. I find our styles to be, I mean, I can just look at his work and see exactly what he's doing technically, and he uses acrylics. I was a little surprised by that. I also heard that one of his collectors is Leonardo DiCaprio, but you didn't hear that from me. And somebody from Nike, but you didn't hear that from me either. So I know tomorrow is the first day back to school. Actually, it was today, Monday. So some of us are coming back from spring break. And I love when it's the holidays and people are on spring break. I love seeing their pictures from their vacations. Especially, I mean, if I'm friends with you, you're a good person and you deserve that vacation. So I love seeing their pictures. A lot of people went to Florida, Costa Rica. And a lot of us just stayed home. Sometimes home is a vacation, right? At least I'm at that point in my life where it is, and it's a good feeling, right? To just be happy to be home. Yeah. I know this highlighting I'm doing looks extremely abrasive, but trust the process. Trust the process. Feathers. I'm trying to adjust this so you can see more of the body. Okay, that looks good. And I had this super teeny tiny brush. Why do I bother doing my nails? I don't know. They still look pretty. But I'm an artist. These are artist hands. There's no time for $100 manicure up in here. And even if there was, I don't know. I can't have nice nails. I just can't. They feel really pretty when I have them, but I know it's not gonna last. So it's like, I just don't want to punish myself with these beautiful, expensive nails. But I do love seeing other girls with beautiful nails. So keep it up, ladies, because those nails look so good. One of my good friends, Kim, gets her birthday nails every year, and I love seeing her birthday nails. Like, it's like the Oscars of nails. Birthday nails. We should all post birthday nails or birthday fits. Like, I always get a new dress or try to get something different, like for my birthday. Like, I'm pretty I love fashion, but I do not have the budget for my love of fashion, so of course I buy a lot of stuff at thrift stores. And so, yeah, I mean, I just love, even if it's from the thrift store, I love getting a new outfit for my birthday. So maybe you can comment and tell me what your birthday tradition is. And if you don't have a birthday tradition, I recommend you start one. It's never too late. But I hope one day, if you don't like your birthday, you will learn to love it and love life so much that every year is a gift, and your friends are a gift, and the things you've learned are a gift. And sometimes you gotta go through a lot to get to that point. But I promise it's worth it. And some of the nicest people I know have been through the hardest things, you know? I kind of enjoy when I go back on these paintings. Like, I'll download this sometime this week, tomorrow, I don't know. I try not to, I want to have fun with it, so I try not to make it like a chore, but I do post a time lapse of my live videos, and I really like the way, it's so cool to see the progress. Like right now it feels so slow, but when you watch those time lapses, it's really cool. It must be so fun to have all this technology as a teenager. Like, I can't imagine what kind of music would I have made. I think I could have made some cool music with the technology we have. And yeah, if you're saying, oh my gosh, you should just make some music, I have enough hobbies already. I do not need to start another one right now. I think my husband would lose his mind if I picked up something else. Let's learn something else.
Down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the horizon.
And I'm just gonna say it for those that are waiting to take a sippy sip. I'm painting the wattles.
Won't be long. I'm there before the setting sun. For you to fall into my arms. The place I call my home. I was looking to belong when I already found my home. strolling, far from home and horizon looking like a sunset dream. We're not talking, border crashing, evening feeling like a postcard scene. 'Cause it's just us two, dancing with the moon, my arms wrapped around you.
To have a little patience with me while I play with the lighting. This is always, I gotta figure out a way to have an easel. And listen, this whole technology thing is complicated for me, and I'm not even, I don't feel like I'm that old, but I guess I am, like, mom age, where I am just not understanding technology as quick as, well, I never really did, ever, even, I've just kind of avoided it. I guess it's something that didn't interest me, so I just never wanted to really learn about it, but now it's something I have to learn, and I'm actually loving learning the benefits of a lot of what technology can do. It's kind of like modern art. Like, I hated modern art for a long time, but then when I learned to look at it, and I don't know, I started to like it. And learning about different art styles really helped me. Like, in the beginning of this painting, I was talking about styles, and so many novice artists, that's what they ponder. What's my style? And literally, it's just trying different things. And I took my students to a lecture at the MoCA Museum of Contemporary Art. Remember, that was the acronym. Anyway, if you don't know, now you know. And there was a talk going on with artist Michael Kagan, who is amazing. He does kind of impressionist-y astronaut paintings. So I took my students to see him at a lecture, and one of my students asked him, how did you figure out your style? Like, he paints astronauts in an impressionist-y style. He has kind of this distinct hot pink underpainting technique, and that's basically what he said. Was I just really liked painting astronauts, and so I just painted what I liked. And the materials you work with that you find you like, maybe you try a bunch of different, but make sure you try them. Don't just stick with one and say, I'm just really good at this one, I'm going to stick with it. Don't do that. Give it a chance. Give something else a chance. Try to learn as much as you can about all the things, because you never know. It's like food. If you don't try, there's probably a food out there you haven't tried that is your new favorite in the future. So try it, and you'll find that thing that you just keep going back to. And you'll be like, okay, this is my thing. I'm learning that my thing is chickens. Who'd have thunk? I really love painting chickens. Never painted a chicken in my life until I got some, and that was within the past 8 years. So my chicken fascination is fairly new, but I'm finding that maybe I just like painting chickens, and that's my thing. George O'Keeffe liked painting flowers. I like painting chickens. George O'Keeffe painted more than just flowers, but maybe I just do a little concentration of flowers. That's another stereotype for artists, right? You paint one, you do something over and they think that's just all you do. I guess same for our actors, you know, if someone plays in a movie and they're stereotyped as that character, it's kind of the same for art. A lot of artists get stereotyped for a specific thing, and then when they try something different, I don't know. But good for trying. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably just gonna be having a lot of fun with these feathers tonight. I don't know, we'll see. You never know. Could get crazy. And I know I do typically do my background first, but I've learned that I get a little expressive with the feathers, and I end up having to go over my background anyway, so I'm just painting the chicken first. I know I always say to paint your background first. I color blocked it in. It's okay. It's a good method when you're a novice artist to just start with your background, but once you get used to knowing how you work, you can, the process changes with every piece you do. You might have a formula that you use, but you have the knowledge at the time to make a decision about your process, if that makes sense. So I do encourage, that's why you learn. You learn a method, and then you make up your own. And you can see I'm adding in darker colors now. I just kind of go back and forth, layering. That's what really I think is satisfying to the eye, is seeing those marks, while also seeing the detail. So I guess I like to show off the mark making. I'm not even show off, but I'm showing the mark making and the realism, because that's what I like when I look at a painting. I like seeing brushstrokes. So really I'm just painting things that I find pleasing. And maybe you do too, I don't know, but I just find chickens so beautiful with all their textures and colors, and I'm kind of a nerd. I love dinosaurs, and chickens are the closest living relative really to a dinosaur, I think. I don't know, Wikipedia me, I don't know. But they are very dinosaur-like, and when I was a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs. But yeah, just color, pattern, they're all so unique, they're all so different. None of them really look this. You can make them look the same. It's kind of like what Georgia O'Keeffe did with the flower. She would zoom in and you would just see it from a different perspective. And I think that's what I'm doing with these chickens, is I'm just really honing in and staring, and God, I see so many colors. I see so many textures. Oh, it's not even 9. We are good. Party just started. On that note, gonna paint these wattles. And this is the really satisfying part where I start popping in highlights.
These days are running slow. Sunsets and shores far from home. Headlights are shining on the sea. No place on earth I'd rather be. And I could try to just follow the swell, but I'll never find this anywhere else. Into all these places on the wall, and none come close to this, I'm sure. You try to say the sunrise the same, but tell me, have you ever danced in the rain?
Okay, so I'm adding in these kind of bright highlights, and you see how it really starts popping. This is the exciting part when I start adding these highlights, lowlights.
Try to just follow the swell, but I'll never find this anywhere else. I'll never find.
You can see how those highlights just make things pop.
Fading fast from this old town, we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we already know. Let's skip this time with me. Let's skip this time with me. Stars dance round the moon, fall asleep to the sounds of the sea. With you right by my side, it's such a sweet life. Let's skip this time with me. Skip this time with me.
So when I print the pictures, when I'm looking at my pictures, I print a black and white and a color, just because when I look at this red color for so long, I just, it just really starts to mess with me. So I print both so that I have the tone and I'm not necessarily looking at the color. So even if you're using your phone as a reference, like just flipping it from gray to color is very helpful. So like blending out this part, this top part with this highlight, I don't know, those shadows were tricky for a second. But now that I've got it in black and white, I can see them better. And if that doesn't work for you, then that just works for me. So I feel like I'm pretty simple in the way I think, and if I can figure it out, then it must be a method that is helpful to others. But not everyone learns the same way, so my way may not be the right way for you, and that's okay. I'm glad you figured that out. Like even with this black and white, I'm seeing around the eyes is much. There's much more highlights than I'm giving her credit for. So you'll see in just a second. I'm going to add some highlights around her eyes that I wasn't quite seeing in the color photo, but I am seeing in the black and white. I'm teetering on the thought of making this like really electric blue. I don't know, I'll just play and we'll see what happens. I'm going to try not to think so much. There you go. Just sometimes you just gotta meditate and chill and say, okay, I'm just gonna go with what feels good, what I like. I'm gonna put something down, and if I'm like, oh, then I don't do that. But if I put something down and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go with it, right? Hey, another trick. I've been looking at this painting for a long time. Let's go to Upside Down Town. Alright, so when you turn your picture upside down, especially when you've been looking at something for however long I've been looking at this, it just kind of tricks, it brings you back. Makes you think, or makes you see things just a different perspective, because when you start looking at something, you'll start making things up in your head. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if you've ever like leaned over the sofa. I don't know how to explain this, but like looked at someone with your head upside down and talked, and it looks really weird, but after a few minutes it looks normal. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a little trick. Like looking at someone upside down and then your brain adjusts. There's probably a scientific term for that, and I should know it because I took a class in college all about perspective of the mind, so I'm sure I studied it, but I don't remember. And that's okay. I'll look it up. So yeah, just turning your work upside down. At first, when you first do this as a novice artist, it's going to frustrate the heck out of you. You're going to turn something upside down and be like, I give up. I hate my work, all of it. It sucks. But just, you'll eventually get to a point where it's like, oh, okay, it's fine. It really helps. But if you take my advice and you do that, and you're like, I hate all my stuff now, it's okay. It's okay. Alright, I need a little more white. So if you hear a poop sound, it's my paint. Oop. Alright. It was kind to me. Okay.
Rest your head upon my shoulder, nothing I wear. It's colder, but the day's not over yet. Summer nights, watch them go by as we fight off the cold. Holding you tight, you know just what I'm thinking. I don't want this moment to go.
And this outline on these waddles is a lot lighter than I'm making it. I don't know, I'm just being so careful. I'm nervous about going really light right now. Gotta make sure my drinking water is away from my paint water. It's so close. You don't know how many times I've almost reached for the wrong thing. So I'm getting these lighter highlights. It's getting scary, and I like this part of it. I'm doing this fine outline around the eye, and I may go in with a fine tip pen, but we'll see how the brush does. But there's no rule that says you can't use a little pen with details, so I might do that. But it seemed to work out for me using that little brush, so I think I'm good. Just gonna flip it the right side up. And I think I'll keep it like this for a minute. No. Like a black. That was too blue. There we go. So now I'm touching in some darker areas. So I just go back and forth with the darks and the lights, the color and the black and the whites. I'm really liking that banjo slam. That was awesome. Wish I could play the banjo like that. Or guitar. Maybe I could if I put my mind to it, but like I said, I got too many things that I want to do. I need to live for 2,000 years to get a few of them done. Maybe I will. Just come back as a chicken. Maybe I've already been a chicken. I don't know. I like to think the things you're really interested in are like things you are familiar with. Maybe from being here before. I don't know. Like I really love westerns and wide open spaces, and a part of me feels like there's a part of me that's just a part of that, you know? So I think I'm going to finish the chicken parts up tonight, and then that means the third installment will be background. So it seems like I'm finding a flow, a pace that I'm working. Seems like in about 3 nights I get something done, so maybe that's the algorithm for me. And I'm going to start posting supplies that I'm using. All this is new to me, so I'm working on all the things, figuring out all the things. This whole YouTube is it's new to me, and I'm learning and I'm loving it. I'm excited about having kind of my own little nest, my own little legacy in the internet world. I wish there were videos of my grandparents and maybe my nieces and students or whoever will look back on these little videos and be like, Miss Fun's voice, I missed that. So I don't know whether this gets listens or not. I'm enjoying just keeping a little chicken painting diary. Yeah, maybe my nieces are, I can't talk about her too much or I'll cry, but I love being an auntie. And my nephew Logan, and my nephew Cyrus, Abby, and a lot of students that are just so special. If I named them all, though, we'd be up till 6 in the morning, and But maybe in the future I can have a thing where I have like past students join me. I don't know. That'd be cool. At least an excuse for us all to get together. I do try to keep up with, any of them that want to keep up with me. I try to keep up. So, because I think it'd be so cool to be able to still be in touch with teachers that I had. I think this is what happened last time, is I spent forever on these waddles, and it just started to drive me crazy. Alright, let's turn it right side up and see. Oh Lord, my eyes need to adjust. Let's see what is going on here. Waddle time and cheers. Okay. I will also find a time to post these for sale. I can't have a ton of chicken paintings. And while I love just painting chickens, I would like to make some money on them. These poor chickens, I'm doing all I can. They're my little cash cows. I sell the eggs. I make jewelry from their feathers. I'm painting them. But trust me, they are living an amazing life. Like, I am so grateful for their service. They're very loved. So, but maybe that's my compliment to them, is they're my muses. They're my little muses. They inspired me to make jewelry. And paint. Isn't that the best compliment, to be someone's muse? Yeah, good compliment. Somebody's muse. One of my favorite movies is a film called As Good as It Gets. It had Jack Nicholson. And it would probably be a little controversial today. I don't know. It's it's not for the super sensitive, I guess. But Greg Kinnear in the movie, the actor, is a gay artist, and he and Helen Hunt are friends, and for whatever reason, I don't want to give the movie away, but they end up in a hotel room, and she's getting in the bath, and he sees her, and she covers up really quick, and he says, "No, you're the reason cavemen chiseled on walls." Oh my god, how awesome is that compliment? That movie has a lot of great lines like that. And I'm just kind of popping in texture down here, like I'm not being very careful. Remember, what do we call it? The Fabiana. We're doing the Fabiana where we just kind of squint and, you know, go with what, like I'm not even really mixing the paint. And just popping it in where I see it. Highlights, shadows. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, stop screwing it up. I don't know. I just remember watching Bob Ross and being like, please don't add another tree. It's fine the way it is. And he would always add another tree. Yeah, I was gonna go with the same kind of wildflower background, but I think I might, but I'm gonna change the background. Like, maybe I'll make it kind of a moon garden. Ooh, that's exciting. I gotta write that down before I forget. Moon garden. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna write it on my tape here. Moon garden background. Okay. So that way I know that's the vibe I'm getting. And then still have like flowers in the background, but maybe do some firefly stuff. Some really girly, Pinteresty shit. It's fine. You know what? Sometimes that's what makes you feel good, and I want some glittery wildflowers. I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't add a mason jar, okay? I promise. No mason jar. Just like daisies and sparkles, and if you know me, you know I love dots. I'm gonna add some dots. But I don't know. Let's see. Got about 10 minutes. Try to go to 9:30. I still see some spots I can lighten up, but I think next Monday I will be back at school. I have taken a little break from school just for my mental, and it's been so helpful. But I go back in a few days, so next Monday will be my first Monday back with my kiddos, and I'll be doing the background of this painting, so that's the perfect transition, I think. But I try to go live on YouTube every Monday. Actually, not to toot my horn, I say try, but I have been doing it, you guys, and some of the videos have really sucked, like no sound. It's been a struggle, but I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying, like I said, just kind of keeping a visual, or just kind of keeping a diary of my art, but also maybe connecting with others out there that find this soothing, or I don't know. I just feel the need to do it, so there's got to be a reason, right? Or maybe not. Either way, it makes me happy, so and if it makes you happy and it's not harming others, go for it. I'm just having so much fun with these highlights. this is the thing, like, I would have never noticed Cher's beautiful highlights if I hadn't studied this photograph. I've been staring at it for a while now, and I am just gonna give her some big hugs tomorrow. She's so beautiful. All her colors. I wonder what her reaction would be if I showed her this painting. I guess chickens don't have mirrors. They don't recognize what they look like. They probably think they look like the other chicken they're seeing. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling that song. I don't know what that was. That was the end. That's why. It's the end of the playlist. That is a sign that it's almost time to start packing up. Okay. Because I give myself like an hour and a half playlist. So Moon Garden background. Looks like I got the highlights for the most part. Oop, hold up. Hold up. It's all in the details. Let me get a little bit of black. So I'm gonna get a little bit of black here, and I'm gonna roll my paint. Maybe I'll add a pinch of water. And I'm gonna roll my paintbrush, get a pretty thin line, and I'm gonna pop just some fine kind of feathery details that I'm seeing. And maybe I'll say, I hate that. Why did I do that? I don't know. But I'm doing it. And so far so good. Whoop, nope, didn't like that one. Whatever. I'm just kind of coming in with this black and doing some tiny outlines where I'm seeing this part of the feathers when they kind of layer, like this light and dark. It's called the lace. It's for us chicken nerds. Like best in show kind of chicken people. You start learning terms like that. The lace. So just adding in a couple little details. Woo! Oh, that got crazy. Boop. Just gonna pop that off. Try again. Okay, it's a little better. And I'm just coming in and kind of outlining. Like I said, with the faces of my chickens, I get really super detailed, and then I kind of get a little more impressionisty with the feathers. I just like emphasizing that texture. Yeah, it's just fun. Emphasizing the texture of the feathers. Ooh, getting crazy. Little jazz flute to close the night. But anyway, I think I'm finishing up here. Next Monday we'll work on the background, and yeah, I will have to think of another topic. Most likely another chicken. I'm on a chicken roll. Maybe this will just be the chicken painting hour. I don't know. Maybe I'll paint something different. I don't know. But I'm enjoying. I have a lot of material for sure. If you look at my camera roll, it's nothing but my dog, my chickens, our class pet, guinea pig named Jefferson, or my students' artwork. So, chicken paintings. Maybe I'll paint the guinea pig. I don't know. We'll see. Could get crazy. Maybe a chicken and a guinea pig. Whoop. Okay, I need to stop. Okay, so I go live on Monday nights. I will start posting some of the materials that I'm using. And have a wonderful night. And hopefully I'll see you. Well, I'm not going to see you, but I'll be here next